there.
Oh,
Sorry,
that was really bright.
YouTube threw us a little curveball. They said we had to turn this device landscape.
Yes.
So
And
we're landscape.
We just anchored, so we were rushing over to get live right now. We had to re-anchor a couple times because we were in a shallow spot. And we're in the Solent still, and we found a good anchorage, but we did a couple.
Holy cow! Of course, I wanted to have lots of time to prepare for this beforehand,
That's
and
never
instead,
how it
we just dropped the anchor back down on it 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And we're like, quick, okay, let's set up this live stream.
Yeah.
So, but we had it scheduled, and we know that a lot of you marked in your calendars. So, thank you for coming on air here and watching. This topic is about the cost of cruising. I put a little feeler out there what people wanted to hear about, and overwhelmingly, everyone wants to talk about money.
Of course.
How much money does it cost to go do this?
Yeah.
And so, officially, we've been cruising for 1 year now. So, just a quick recap. I'm Darren.
I'm Amanda.
And we're on Sailing Panda. And we've been cruising we left Florida back in February. Really, it was February, but
last year.
Yeah, February last year. Right. Talk about our boat. We're on a 40-foot Amel, catch rigged, pretty typical cruising boat. Older, she's 1980 designed. And then our route, we started in Florida, went all the way down to Puerto Rico. COVID hit, we decided to come to Europe. So we sailed to Bermuda, Maine, Newfoundland, spent the summer in Greenland, and crossed over to Scotland, spent the fall there, and then now we're in southern England in the Solent. So it's a little recap of where we're at.
And financially, that completely changed some of our spending habits and what we actually spent money on as well, what we thought we would. So that's also what we're going to talk about here today, too.
That's right. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is just a new interface. I was trying to see if I can see where the chat...
It pops up, I think, right in here.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there.
Thank you.
Okay, so sorry. Now we see the chat. So
yeah, I saw a little message and then it went away. So
thank you, Yellow Matilda, for wishing us an anniversary.
It's our anniversary today. It comes when a new message. You can
okay. Sorry, I'll stop messing with it. Now everyone's like, would you just get to what you want to talk about?
Just play this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what I want to talk about first is kind of our cost before cruising. So, which is just our boat. And just so we have an idea of our cruising budget, what our boat is, that highly influences the cost, also where we've gone. But we bought our boat, again, she's a 1980 Amel Sharky. We bought her down in Fort Lauderdale for roughly $70,000 US. And then over the next year, we again roughly spent between $25,000 and $30,000 on refit upgrades, getting her to the point outfitting her with the stuff that we wanted to go cruising. So that obviously is going to vary totally widely with what boat you have and where you're cruising, what your cruising goals were. Something that was hard for us is we had no cruising experience, so we didn't know exactly what we needed. We'll get to more of that in a second. But what everyone always wants to talk about is what our total cost is. So I have these nice little cards.
Darren worked really hard on coloring these little cards.
My elementary school art
Thank
training
you.
really...
Thank you to our friend who donated all these colorful markers to us that we didn't have before, and now we use them.
Okay, so before you unveil that, let me say what the total is, and then we have a breakdown after. But the total is every cost we incurred from March 1st to March 1st of this year. So exactly like a year of cruising. What did it cost? Okay, and the big number is
Oh, it's backwards on there.
36,300. Is it backwards for everyone?
I hope not.
Can someone
Maybe it's just backwards to
comment
me.
if they can see that correctly? Because I'm not sure. No, it's good.
Okay.
So our screen that we're viewing this on is mirrored,
Ah,
which just
that's funny.
confuses the hell out of this.
All right, so we're going to just read these backwards.
So our total cost for 1 year of cruising is $36,300 US. That is not substantially, it's a bit more than we wanted to spend, but let's talk about what is in that cost. So let me bring up our next colorful card. Okay, our next card is boat upgrades. So in that total cost, we what I call boat upgrades is things that we added to the boat because we wanted to cruise it more comfortably. We needed to like reconfigure. We didn't like the way something was done. So I shouldn't say it like these aren't things that were completely necessary for us to cruise. Granted, some of the costs that are in here are like a diesel air heater. Since we did choose to go to Greenland and we didn't want to be totally miserable and freezing all the time, we installed a heater. That was roughly $1,000, maybe $1,200.
One boat unit.
One boat unit. Something cost, actually right off the bat when we started cruising, we bought a new head sail. Again, it wasn't completely necessary. We have a Genoa, but we really needed something that was a bit smaller for us to cut up wind. And again, that was like something we didn't realize until we started cruising. That cost us about 2.5 boat units. So, so that's what I call like boat upgrades. And then even most recently, when we over the winter here, we did like a ton of revamping. We got rid of our solar arch. We added dinghy davits. We traded out our dinghy. And we did a host of like other like small projects that are all in this boat upgrade number. So,
okay,
to reveal the number, so our money spent on boat upgrades is $17,514.
Yes.
And that's since March. So $17,514 we spent on boat upgrades. So if we go back to what this was our total of 36,000, roughly half of our total is just simply boat upgrades. Again, these aren't things that like were totally required. If we really want to do it budget, we could have, made this maybe just a few $1,000s. The boat, we could have cruised. But
we'll also add that we do all of the work ourselves.
That is true.
So that does save a little bit of money as well.
Yeah. Also in this, so I just want to try to remember what some of the big costs were in this number. Is, you can keep holding it up, or maybe turn it around. How about that? Boat upgrades. So we had a new head sail that we got in the Bahamas. That was 2.5 boat units. We re-rigged our boat in Maine.
Yep.
That was like 2 to 3 boat units, something like that. A new heater, that was a boat and unit and a half.
Yeah.
Then
what was another big one?
Then we had some smaller things like crossing the Atlantic. Our forestay broke, so when we got into Scotland, we had a new forestay made. That was a couple $100, $300 or $400. Oh, the refrigerator.
Oh yeah, the refrigerator rocks now.
Yeah, so our last refrigerator was really rotten and old and terrible.
Yeah.
That was something that was really good to invest in a good fridge.
Yeah.
That was like 3.5 boat units.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
It's how it really works.
Yeah. So that was a big one. And then the dinghy davits that we added, that was roughly 2 boat units.
But we did sell things off before we put things on.
We did?
Yeah, we got a new dinghy, but we sold our old dinghy, Rocco.
Yep, so that cost was actually like a total swap. We sold Rocco for exactly what we got the high field for. So.
And we also got new panels, new solar panels, but we sold our old solar panels. So we've kind of done the exchange, but you know, roughly you're not going to get the same return on new stuff you bought versus now old stuff.
Right. Yep. So again, show the cost
So,
here.
Boat upgrades.
Our boat upgrades was $17,514
which is roughly half of our
total. So we're really hoping this next season of cruising we shouldn't have any like extra costs as far as like boat upgrades. We'll have boat maintenance now, and we're going to talk about that next. So actually, let's not talk about that next. Well, yeah, I think that would be good.
That would be the next sensible thing.
Okay.
All
there
right.
you go. So hopefully this next year, let's show the service and parts. What I like to say.
Anchor.
It's an anchor. It's cute and a little gear for. So this category is everything that's on the boat of like wear and tear items. So this is oil changes, oil filters, fuel filters, belts.
And what do they say is roughly the percentage of your boat would be that cost?
I think it varies like between 2 and 5% per year of the value of your boat is what you end up like spending on this service and parts. Again, we're doing all the work ourselves, so we try to make it as small as possible. But yeah, so if we roughly say our boat is worth 80,000 or 100,000, we should be spending 2,000 to 3,000 a year just on service.
So did we?
We did.
Okay. All right.
So our total service is $1,855.
Right.
Again, that's 1 year of service and parts. This also includes servicing like things like the dinghy. You have the outboard motor that requires a little bit of maintenance. We have a dive compressor on board that adds another thing.
Component that needs parts and
needs
service.
Filters and belts and oil.
Needed filters. We didn't buy filters until we got to the Bahamas, and it wasn't working anymore.
Yeah. FYI, if you go with a dive compressor, you need filters. Totally didn't understand.
But it's all good now.
Yeah. Okay, so that's for the service and parts.
Service and parts.
Let's talk about some of the fun stuff. So
fun stuff. Fuel?
No.
No.
Let's talk about us now.
Us. Okay, we call this discretionary funds.
What goes into those funds?
Fun times.
Funds.
Well, when COVID wasn't around, we used to have fun. And we used to go out, and we used to go to the pub or restaurants or even like excursions to a museum or I don't know.
Yep.
Whatever you want. I don't know what that is anymore. But now, this is what we used to do. Discretionary funds.
So in the last year, we spent $5,327 on discretionary. Again, this is items that like we go out to eat and there was no other option. So we kind of throw everything that like wasn't required, we put it in discretionary.
Yeah, like you want to go to a show or the cinema.
That's right.
Or spelunking.
You know what we also put in there though? Marina fees.
Oh, we
mooring
do that.
fees.
We want to break this down a little bit like differently next year. We did kind of put even buying any technology items, like we got a couple batteries for our GoPro, or if we got cables. It's a little too wishy-washy, I think, this category, but we will further break it down maybe next year, because it's not just fun things, but it's mostly fun things.
Yeah, like also costs for entering countries, visa fees, that sort of thing. Luckily, we only had those in the Bahamas. Everywhere else we went was free.
Yeah.
But this next season of cruising, we're probably going to incur a bit more fees. So yeah, we'll break it down. So just come back next year and you can see like again more
stay
costs.
Tuned.
I know.
Stay tuned for more fun.
Okay. Let's also talk about what us as humans require.
We require groceries, and we do a lot of grocery shopping because we cook a lot now.
I think everyone's cooking a lot because it's COVID time.
But we also enjoy cooking. Like, we also enjoy making meals, and it's a cheaper option as well, so it saves a lot of money. And I'm a pretty good cook, and I feed him pretty well, I think.
I love it. Like, there's no better thing than I can work on the boat all day long. If I know there's a hot meal, like, ready for me when I am exhausted, her cooking is the best.
So
And she doesn't just buy bread and apples. We have like all kinds of food, but those are the two things I could draw.
oh yeah, I guess.
So
We
what did
always
we
have that.
spend in 1 year of groceries,
Right.
sailing quarter of the way around the world? $6,963. I think I read that right. Yes, $6,963 on groceries. Almost 7,000. So that was pretty big.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's also pretty fair. Like I think we shop as frugally as we can. We're not eating like steak and lobsters every night.
No.
I'd say we had probably a protein once every week, kind of on average. Though we're switching more to vegetarian now, which is I would say arguably even a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
And of course better for the environment, so that's good. But yeah, we essentially try to eat a bit of fresh stuff. As far as trying to reduce your costs, you can just totally eat rice and beans for your groceries, but that gets really
It gets
old.
boring.
The things you really crave are the fresh stuff. So
Yeah.
like the salads, the fruits and veggies, and that probably ends up being like a big portion of the cost. You know what we're not talking about in that cost?
What?
Alcohol.
Oh, we put alcohol in this number too. And we like drinking. So.
Yeah, so our booze are also in there. I don't know what the breakdown is. Probably don't want to know.
It'd be funny to know like if like COVID would have affected this.
Yeah. So we'll just keep hiding the alcohol for now in the groceries. So yeah.
Yeah, we won't break that one down. It might scare it.
All right, so that's groceries.
Next big cost for most cruisers as well is fuel.
Fuel. I know we're a sailboat and we should be sailing everywhere, which honestly we try to. But there are times when you need to motor in and out of a harbor, when you're on a long passage and the wind is just dead and you want to like keep moving, so maybe a big load doesn't come and just crush your hopes and dreams like in the North Atlantic.
Now we have a diesel air heater and we're in the cold, which we didn't expect either. This fuel cost has gone up for us because we're trying to keep ourselves warm.
Right.
And fuel is a lot more expensive here than in the US.
It is. In Europe, fuel is roughly 3 times the price. You can kind of get them down on the price a little bit if you tell them it's a higher percentage for heating fuel. It's taxed at a different rate. So that has helped, especially when we're in this area, in the marina for the last couple months. I mean, it was just cold. And yeah, that diesel air heater was running all the time. Even after we insulated our boat, it still is, well, it's just...
We try to try to do things during the day or not turn it on during the day and keep ourselves wrapped up, or we're going on shore and going walking about. So at night is kind of when we put it on, like dinner time, and then lower it at night. We try to reduce how much we're using lately, but still an added cost. And
total
it takes fuel.
is?
And the fuel?
$3,491 for fuel.
For the year.
Yep, so this is diesel fuel, our heating fuel, and our dinghy fuel.
Dinghy fuel.
Dinghy fuel is pretty small percentage.
Yeah.
Mostly diesel here. And we are electric cooking, so we don't have cooking gas in this at all. So there it is. All right, next on the list. Ooh, communication devices.
Yeah.
So we have 2 costs here. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have our mobile phone and we have a sat phone. We've kind of figured out better ways for costs on mobile phone by getting local SIM cards. Whereas in the beginning we were doing Google Fi, which is great. There has been a little controversy over whether you can leave the US for a long extended time and keep it or not. So we're not going back and forth to the US. That might be a thing to look into. So we've dropped Google Fi. It was really expensive for us compared to local SIM cards, which are like half the price.
If a third of the price.
Yeah, sometimes even a third, depending on what plan you want.
Yeah.
And we've cut that cost since. So this is kind of a mixed number between local SIM and Google Fi.
And this is for 2 phones.
2 phones.
For a year.
Yep.
And then most recently, we've added a third device because the SIM cards are so cheap.
Yeah.
Like right now, we are streaming on an iPad, and there's a SIM
Yes.
card in it, so that is helpful.
Because we're also uploading to YouTube.
The next thing is sat phone. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Back to the mobile phone. You can't find Wi-Fi all the time, and since we are a YouTube channel, every week we're uploading a 5 to 6 gigabyte file.
Mm-hmm.
We need data, so
Yep.
that's in that mobile cost. Sat phone. When we started our journey, we had a Iridium Go satellite phone, and we had that with us all the way across the Atlantic, all the way up to Greenland. But recently we have put it on hold because it costs a lot of money. And now, when we know we're kind of coastal cruising for a while, it just doesn't make sense. That is roughly $120 a month. So.
Right, and we figured since we're not doing large crossings, we won't be turning it on or that service on anytime soon. We have bought extra SIM cards recently because we don't know where we're going, and that's more of a safety insurance for us to feel a little better that if when we activate it again, then we will be going on another crossing away from shore, and it's a little safety feature for us.
Absolutely.
So, so those costs, we break that down.
So we have $1,705 for our mobile phones, $1,247 for our Iridium Go, and that was most of the year on the satellite phone. And then, hopefully this cost for our mobile phone will be a little bit less next year.
Hope so.
Because we're in Europe, the SIM cards are cheap, so I think we're figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So that's our cost there. And our last card is, I don't have anything to show. I should just say per month. I wanted to, we had targets of how much we were going to spend a month. We were trying to be about $1,000 for everything, plus our satellite phone, which is like $1,200. So let's call it like $1,200 a month. But yeah, that
didn't happen.
It became a little bit more than that.
I mean, we can still set goals.
So
we still went over that.
So in these per month values, this is excluding all that boat work we did.
Yeah.
So it includes the service and parts, but it excludes all that boat upgrade shenanigans we did throughout the year.
Right.
So our totals are, there we go. We were shooting for $1,200. We actually came in at $1,565 a month. And in that breakdown, the discretionary funds is $444. Our
groceries.
Oh yeah, groceries about $580 a month, and then our fuel came out to about $290 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So the fuel's a little higher than we thought. The discretionary was a little lower, and I'd say the groceries were about.
Yeah, I think the groceries are about where we thought it was gonna be, but
right.
Overall, it was a lot more than we thought it was gonna be. Actually, not too much. Some people say $1,500 is a good amount per month, but
right.
We still will set this goal of $1,000 a month, and we'll see if we make it.
Yeah, we're trying to be as frugal as we can. So, which kind of leads me into what is our financial background? I mean, are we just living off of a big trust fund and we just get a check every month?
I wish.
No?
No.
That's not how this works?
That's not how this works. We actually worked really hard. We had normal 9-to-5 jobs, and we had an accelerated plan of just going cruising, and we did it really quickly, but we just saved as much as we could during that time, and we're just living off savings. And currently we are trying to grow our YouTube as well, so maybe in the future we'll be making a little bit of money off that.
Perhaps.
We'll see.
Yeah, we don't have any other income right now, so we don't have a company that's bringing money. We're not working on some other thing. Really, this was designed to be a break from us from work, from our traditional works for at least just a little bit. But in the last year, we've really fallen in love with making YouTube videos, doing the vlogging, filming and editing episodes and getting it out there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
So we really want to continue that. Actually, just recently we made the decision, like, we want to really push and keep growing the Sailing Panda channel, because we get all this really awesome feedback
really awesome.
from you guys, that like you guys are motivated, you guys are inspired, and that just like motivates
Yeah,
us.
fuels us to keep going and want to push ourselves harder to provide more content. And we'll keep going as long as we enjoy it and you guys enjoy it too. So we went into this thinking, okay, we're gonna try it out, see if we like it or not, and it turns out we do. So we're gonna keep doing it until we don't like it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually, even with that, just today we got a new laptop, because
Still
we
in the
only
box.
it's still in the box. We only had one laptop, which just meant she was editing everything you see she has made, and that is a ton of work. For instance, the
Yeah.
last Greenland episode took her roughly 50 hours of work, so
There's just a lot of content.
it's
So.
pretty much a full-time job. And we realize that's not sustainable, because we can't just sit on our boat for 50 hours a week and edit. Like, we do have to move, and then we have to film and like see new stuff. So I have an editing machine now. We can both edit and
And respond to people at the same time.
yeah, that's right too. So we're gonna keep making videos, like I said, until the money runs out, or if we get a little bit of the advertising money through YouTube, that's awesome.
Yeah, or pick up odd jobs. We've always said that as well.
That's right. Yeah, I've scrubbed a few bottoms. For the right amount of money, I will scrub your bottom.
Hey.
So yeah, I've helped some people in anchorages and marinas do some boat work and boat cleaning and things like that. That always is fun.
Yeah, Darren's Yacht Services, parts and upgrades.
Yeah.
Coming to a marina near you.
Yeah. So if anyone needs work out there, just shoot us
He's
an
great.
email. Yeah.
He's a great mechanic.
So we hope to, like I said, just keep making these videos, and hopefully you guys like them. The best way you all can like support us, if you like seeing these videos, is simply just watch them. Hit like the little thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. All that stuff helps the views of the content go up. Comment if you liked it. If you didn't like it, don't comment. Okay.
Just kidding. Tell us what you didn't like, and constructive feedback is always really helpful for us. So
Absolutely. Yep.
yeah, just let us know.
Yeah. So that's kind of concludes our whole boat costs. So let's
Q&A.
Yeah, let's open up to Q&A. So
We'll try this again. Okay.
okay, so yeah, we're gonna open up to questions and answers now about our cruising budget. So if you guys have a question, chime in now. This is a time that you can ask us directly, and we will answer the best that we can.
All right. So, let's see. We got. Hi. Yes. Hi. Are you going to Norway? Mikkel?
We don't know.
We don't know
where
if
we're
we're
going
No,
right now.
still don't know. We
Yep.
want to. Yeah. I don't know if that will happen though.
And someone says my beard is looking glorious. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yep.
He's growing it out. $2,000 per foot from Travis. Does that work out? $2,000. Yeah, I guess
Let's
so.
see. Is there any real questions?
How
in
much
there?
is the shirt?
No.
Actually, it was a gift.
Someone asked painting the hull. Maybe it says Janky Shack. We know you. Painting the hull. Yeah, that was also in like the first costs of the boat, and that
That did not include painting the hull. We will have to touch up the hull probably next year, I believe.
So we might have to haul out a year from now to do.
We need to just clean the hull. That's free if we do it ourselves.
Which means we have to jump in this really cold water.
Let's see.
Yeah, can you find a question in there? We're just scrolling through.
What refrigerator did y'all go with?
Wheeler. Hey, Mary.
Yeah.
Good to see you. So we went with Penguin Refrigeration. The brand is Friga Boat. I think they're Italian, and that was what was in here before. And so we got a new compressor and then a whole new like fridge box, and it's beautiful. It's this like stainless steel, beautiful thing. So, did
All right.
you see any other
Future
questions?
upgrades.
Oh, future upgrades from Yellow Matilda. Like, we hope we did everything.
I hope so. I hope we don't have to do too many upgrades, at least for a year.
Yeah, if we can get by this year without any big costs, that'd be great.
Yeah, I know we're looking at, we would have to replace the rigging. Well, our intermediate shrouds have to be replaced eventually.
Yeah, next couple of years.
And repainting some of our boat,
Yeah.
the top sides. But
You're missing one possible big
That's
cost
like
we could
maintenance.
have
What?
is our mainsail.
Oh yeah, we call her Patches.
She's quite old. She's still holding on, and we like sew her up every time we get a chance. But
Yeah.
we could maybe expect a mainsail blowout or a rip.
That would be a
anytime
pretty
soon.
big cost.
It would be. Yep.
3 boat units.
At least 3 boat units for
Yeah.
this boat. Yep.
And then, are we planning to sail back down to the Caribbean?
No, we're not planning to sail the Caribbean.
Not yet.
We'd like to sail at least to the Mediterranean this next year, where it's warmer,
We want to get
And-
warm.
and kind of let COVID stuff settle out around the world before we set off again. Because from the from the Mediterranean, we would want to go to Brazil, and then south like Argentina, around Cape Horn,
Mhm.
Chile. And right now, Brazil is just in a tough place
Yeah,
with COVID.
it's really sad.
So
So
I
we're
don't-
kind of waiting on that to be able to cruise over there. And even then, like, I think that's going to be giving it like a year. So right now we're just really looking at the med.
Yeah.
And
So Yellow Matilda asked, where do marina costs fit into your budget? They were in the discretionary funds amount because, again, that's always was an optional thing for us.
And we
kinda
actually
threw it in there.
didn't budget for marina costs originally when we set out for a goal of $1,000 a month. That did not include marinas because that is, from what we thought, a luxury.
Also, where we were going was the South Pacific. There
I was
are no
gonna say
marinas.
there aren't really marinas over there, so you're really not gonna set up in a marina. Whereas we found now we're in the UK, in Europe, there are more marinas, more moorings, more possible fees that you're gonna have to incur over here, which we weren't expecting. Like we actually just paid for a mooring ball for a few nights over here in the UK, and we just never factored that in because where we were going, we could anchor wherever we wanted to. So right now we threw it in discretionary because we weren't expecting that as a cost. We will break it down next year.
That's right. So someone asked,
Johnny, are you planning to sail to Norway?
No.
No.
Yes, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, we'd like to, but Norway's closed right now, so we're not sure on that. I see. So is most of the med. Michael says, probably about costs.
About the
moorings.
marinas and moorings.
Yeah. So wherever we
unfortunately.
sail, we would try to just find anchorages. I mean, that's our jam. When you drop the hook for free, that's awesome. So.
So,
Yeah. So again, if you have questions on cost, type them in now, and we'd love to answer your questions. As far as a question that's not cost, what was the worst moment of sailing so far? This is from Gregory. Like a worst moment. Well,
of sailing.
for me, it was when we broke our forestay in the middle of the Atlantic,
That was a big deal.
and yeah, that was potentially could have been really catastrophic. Like we could have lost the main mast. But we quickly went up and put Dyneema lines and all these other lines around to secure it.
I think we had 3 points of halyards and other lines to keep our forestay intact.
And of course, it doesn't break when the weather's calm. It broke in super rough conditions that we're pounding into.
Yeah.
And even that night after, it was blowing like 30. We had 4-meter waves and our stay sail up that we're beating into. So Yeah, that was not fun. Oh, Yellow Matilda, got any money saving tips? Go on passages.
Yeah.
When you go on passages, you can't spend money.
When you're not near a shore, you won't be spending money.
Yep.
So be under sail as long as you can.
Yep. So for instance, last year, the month of May, we simply like almost didn't spend any money because we were sailing from Puerto Rico all the way up to Maine.
Yeah.
And that was like a whole month of just life at sea. Well, we had
life at sea and also at anchor where we stayed in Bermuda. You weren't allowed ashore, so COVID has helped. And also, I don't recommend COVID.
And then another tip is just do all your own work.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, like as far as buying boat parts, a lot of like fishing style shops, like supply shops for fishing boats, they have much better prices than like West Marine in the U.S. or here, like a proper chandelier like a Force 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that's do the work yourself and find a good place to better prices.
That's
Shop
it.
around.
And Gregory says, thanks for answering. Thank you.
He said, do you want to go more self-sufficient? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Maybe energy self-sufficiency.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, if someone has a pro tip on like free heat through the winter, that would be great. Yeah, like we were sailing in the north for the season. It is cold. The boat isn't exactly set up for northern sailing. If we were to like live up here and really cruise northern latitudes more, we would insulate the boat more and put like a better heater in. Not an electric diesel air heater, but like one of those stoves.
Little mini stoves.
Yeah, because then you can burn wood, pellets, and all that is much cheaper. So as far as just pure heating costs. And as far as self-sufficiency, we have a bit of solar, so we're pretty much self-sufficient. Like
we've talked about adding like a wind turbine as well, but Darren makes that sound every time I suggest getting that. So
that noise drives me nuts. So I'm resisting a wind turbine at the moment. But let's.
Why did you wait?
Before we ask that, I think there was a question from Mary.
Okay.
Mary's. So, are you happy with your current solar bank and battery house bank? You mentioned conversion.
Convection oven.
Convection cooking. Yeah. The lithium bank is totally adequate. Yes.
Yeah, so, lithium is definitely the way to go.
We have a YouTube video on this, so just look at our channel and we talk about our energy consumptions, but it is absolutely awesome. Quick rundown: 6 kilowatts of lithium ion battery bank. When we cook, it costs us roughly 10% for like a big meal, and we get about 10 to 20% every day in solar. So if it's sunny, we're definitely self-sufficient. If it's not sunny, it takes maybe 4 or 5 days to drain the bank. And then, but at that time, we found at least once a week, we're moving the boat anyway, like moving anchorages. And when we are, we can run the motor, which we installed a huge alternator on this thing. So it is pumping some amps into that bank when the motor's on. And we have hot water now. We cruised this whole time without hot water.
Which leads to another question. Someone asked why it took us, I think, so long to install the hot water. Let's see. Yeah, why did you wait so long? Actually, it's a funny story. We took the hot water heater out of the boat when we first got it because we were like, we don't need hot water.
And we're going. Broken.
Okay, well, maybe it was broken. We could have fixed it.
We could have.
But we didn't. We also took out a diesel air heater. So we took these things out thinking we were going to South Pacific. We don't need that stuff. We're going to jump in the water, do a sailor shower, which is also really nice. But when you're sailing in the north, you're not going to do that anytime. We were boiling hot water in a kettle in a bucket to do like a shower in our head. That was really kind of miserable. So yeah, now we installed this hot water heater. we're very happy about that.
A super bonus about hot water is cleaning dishes. We have like oily
Oh,
dishes.
yeah.
We're cleaning it with like water that's just a few degrees above freezing. Like grease
Doesn't go anywhere.
doesn't get off. It just solidifies. So
And then it clogs our pipes, and that is his job. And he gets really annoyed when he has to go clean out this like huge thing of fat
that's right.
oil.
So as far as questions, so sailing Indiana, you guys, what is your contingency fund in case of emergencies? We missed the first 20 minutes of the chat. Sorry.
No,
Okay.
that is fine.
No, yeah, we didn't talk about contingency funds. So, yeah, we have like our savings kind of stashed away for just continued costs, and that should last us a couple more seasons at this rate.
But we also have a set aside, like our own self-insured fund.
Yeah, so what it is, we have like roughly $10,000 set aside that's like we can't touch, different account, and that's like if that's extreme emergencies, like health emergencies for us.
Right.
If we need to like fly home and take care of any business, family emergencies, we have that set aside. We also have some set aside for, I think, medical costs as well. It's a bit less.
Just stash them away. You don't find them, you won't spend them.
So that's our self-insurance. We don't have any health insurance. We don't. So yeah, that's self-insured. I hope that answers your question. I know a lot of cruisers. Oh yeah, you go ahead and add that. I know a lot of cruisers. Some cruisers are just sailing out with nothing. Some are at retirement age where they have all these benefits and a big chunk of money. We are definitely at that lower end, just kind of a step above homelessness, maybe.
So, in addition to Scott's question, is there currently enough light in the UK to power all your electric needs with solar? It's been improving. The last few days that are been sunny here have improved our mood, but also improved our solar intake as well. So we didn't even run the alternator or the engine in the past week.
Yeah, we made it. That actually, it was like our first week. We made it a week, and we could have made it 2 weeks plus.
And we only turned on the engine to back down on the motor, or back down on the anchor. So we really, it was great. Yeah. So it's improving, and it would be enough if it were sunnier all the time here. That'd be good.
Let's see.
What is the worst upgrade you did money-wise?
Oh, yeah. So the biggest cost, the fridge was roughly 3.5 boat units, 3.5
But that's not like I don't know if you mean like a bad decision worst upgrade or like the most money worst upgrade.
Oh man. Well, I think that was our single highest cost for like
the
thing.
Fridge.
Yeah. But I don't know what else would be worse. Let's talk about the best upgrade. One is like our head sail. We bought this head sail from UK sailmakers, and it's like smaller and it goes upwind like nuts. So having a good inventory of sails on a cruising boat is like super important.
We installed our solar arch, and we recently took it down, but I wouldn't say that's like the worst investment. Where we were going, the solar arch would have been great.
Yeah, that's right. So I think that's kind of rounding out the questions. If we missed anybody's questions, just pop in now. Otherwise, we'll kind of wrap this up. I'm just scrolling up through the questions here, and I hope this really answers everyone's questions. Again, I hope this is just a good recap for those who are looking to go cruising and they're just wondering, like, what are my costs potentially going to be? I know before we went cruising, we watched every sailing channel's like, how much is a cost video?
Of course.
And we really tried to estimate where we'd be. And I'd say we, besides the upgrades that we did, we really did quite well, especially for cruising in the north, cruising in the winter time up here. So we had extra fuel costs for heating. Also, like cruising in the north, sailing wise, there's no steady wind. So, like when we were in Greenland, you have to basically motor everywhere because the wind in a
Yeah.
fjord is pretty much zero, or it's coming at you, or very occasionally you get going downwind. But it's not like you can like beam reach through a fjord. That just doesn't happen.
And we tried tacking. I know that's a thought, but it was not. You'd just be going back and forth in the
Yeah,
fjord.
because you
so.
have currents, and it just becomes very difficult and challenging. And with ice to navigate around too,
Yeah.
sailing isn't that easy
So.
there. So, yeah, some extra cost this next year. Hopefully, those things will reduce a bit. And we're
we'll
gonna.
do another one next year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Until then, we're gonna focus on making videos. Glad you guys are liking the Greenland content. It is like going through the roof. Thank you guys for watching it. Again, the best way you can help us out is just to subscribe and like our videos, comment on them. If you want to send us like beer money, you totally can. Under the link of this video, there's like a little PayPal, like it's a PayPal me to my name, Darren Seltzer. Don't
Darren
worry,
wants
I
beer.
share the beer money with her, but if you're like, you guys could definitely use a brewski, just one-time contribution, like that is awesome. Absolutely.
Very cool.
Love everyone who has done that. Like,
Thank
you're
you.
outstanding. So
Yeah.
thank you once again.
But
So
let us keep the comments going. If you have any more questions, we will answer them probably just messaging you back. And
yeah, that's right, in the comments.
So
Yeah.
let us know if you have any more questions and we will get back to you. And also let us know if you like these live sessions or what other content you think would be useful to you.
That's right.
But
All right.
Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. We love you guys. Thanks for coming and enjoying the live session. And Darren's gonna mess up the feed now. All right,
Okay.
bye guys.